everyone. Welcome to another live session with me, Taryn. I'm an eating behavior coach from mindshiftme.com. And so I thought today I would have my live session outside. So I hope it's not going to be too noisy or too distracting, but we'll see how it goes. So today, what I want to do is I want to talk about paying attention when you're eating. So when you really focus on your food, that's been actually proven that it helps people eat less and feel more satisfied. So you tend to reduce the time or the amount that you're going to overeat, or the risk that you're going to overeat when you start to become a more mindful eater. Now there's a big truck going past. I knew this was going to happen. And so mindful eating is sort of a massive pillar or foundation to intuitive eating. And that's kind of what my coaching system is based on, intuitive eating, which uses the principles of reconnecting to your body and your brain and using psychology really to rebuild a healthy relationship with food. Rather than using diets to tell you what to eat, we kind of give you back that power so you can decide what you need to eat. But in order to do that, you need to kind of reconnect to your body. So the first way to start to do that is with mindful eating. And so I want to give you some tips today on how to really start to hone in on your mindful eating and really kind of focus on your eating experience. So, number one is I want you to reflect. So before you eat, I want you to become aware of how your body feels and how your mood feels as well. So things like, am I hangry, or am I calm and neutral, but I'm a little peckish, I'm a little hungry, my stomach's starting to rumble, my energy's a little low, or am I completely irritable because I'm so hungry and my stomach is going crazy? Am I bored? Am I eating because I'm genuinely hungry, or am I stressed out and upset? So all of these can kind of trigger an eating experience, or hunger, a different type of hunger. And I know those of you who've been on the stress eating challenge got a lot more detail about how to pinpoint these two different things, real hunger versus emotional hunger. But if you didn't take the challenge, that's okay. You can still start to really reflect on, what is my mood and my physicality? How am I feeling physically in my body, and how am I feeling emotionally? Because that can help you pinpoint the reasons that you want to eat something at that point, right? So this is the key to understanding what's going on and reconnecting to your body. The second thing to do is to sit down, right? We're so good and proud of ourselves when we can multitask, but actually multitasking is really, really not good for us. There have been so many studies that show that you actually don't do your tasks very well, or as efficiently as you could if you do them individually. You're completely distracted, and it actually raises your stress levels. So really, when it comes to our eating particularly, when we're distracted or we're multitasking, we really, really are not focused on our eating, and that's when we tend to overeat. So I want you to try and sit down. Don't stand at the counter while you're yelling at your kids. Sit down at a table, um, you know, rather than eating on the go. Well, now many of us can't actually go anywhere, but, eating in your car when you're trying to drive, it's really, really distracting. Sit down in a calm, comfortable, quiet space. And then I want you to turn off all distractions, whether that's your phone, your laptop, your Kindle, your tablet, screaming kids in the background, barking dogs, jumping up cats, cats on the table, anything that's going to distract you from zoning into your meal and into your body. I want you to kind of try and cut them out. Now, I know life is always going to get in the way and you can't do this all the time, and I completely get that. I want you to try and at least do this for one meal during your day, just one, just to see the more often you can become a mindful eater, the easier it becomes, and the more instinctive or intuitive you become with it, which is the foundation to healthy eating, right? So you want to practice this as often as you can, but realize that you're not going to get it right all the time, because there are going to be times where you have to grab and go, or you've got to discipline your kid, or shut the dogs up, whatever it is. There are going to be times where your eating is distracted, and that's okay. I want you to just promise me that you'll at least try one meal. Then I want you to dish out the food. So don't eat straight from the packet or the box or the container. I want you to really honor your eating experience, right? I want you to dish it out, If you're joining me live, give me a wave. Let me know who you are and where you're from as well. And if you've got any questions, then just pop them in the chat, and I will get to them. I promise. Um, so dishing out your food really helps, because we're such visual creatures, right, by nature. And so the more you can see your food, the more you kind of hone in on the taste and the textures and the smells, and um, that all those kind of elements stimulate your appetite and your satisfaction. And the more satisfied you are with your meal, the more likely you are to be eat less of that and not binge or overeat later, right? So this is so important, getting that pleasure in eating and that satisfaction. Sorry, I'm moving my camera all over the place. Sorry about that. And so dishing it out really helps you zone in on that food. And you think about it, how many times have you eaten straight out of the box and then you've looked down and the box is empty and you didn't even realize, right? That's mindless eating. And not being able to see the food visually really plays into that mindlessness. So we really want to dish it out. And what I tell my clients is, if you're starting out on this, tapping into your hunger and your fullness signals, why not use a slightly smaller plate? And I don't want this to become a diet tool. This is not you have to eat this portion. If you finish the smaller plate and you're still genuinely hungry because you're reflecting, remember you're tapping in, how does my stomach feel now? Am I full? Am I satisfied? Or am I still really hungry and I want some more? Or I want something else? So as long as you're tapping in there, I don't mind if you have 2, 3, 4 helpings. It doesn't really matter. But the reason I say eat off a smaller plate to start with is because it gives you that barrier to stop, breathe, think, reflect, right? Rather than just overeating on the bigger plate and then you're like, oh, now it's too late, now I'm stuffed. So it really gives you that kind of just stop, breathe, think, reflect moment. And by all means, if you are still genuinely hungry, go and have some more. Now, your hunger is going to change depending on the day and the time and what you had at the last meal and how much exercise you did and your hormones. So every meal is going to be different. And that's why also putting it out on a plate, you can start to see, all right, so generally I'm in this kind of range of how much I like to eat, but it will change every now and then. And it's always good to visually be able to see your food. So always plate out your food. It's important. And then I want you to chew slowly. This is a biggie. So many of us kind of just swallow our meals or inhale them. Hi, Rose. Hello. If you have any questions, please just pop them in the chat for me. So many of us actually just inhale our food, as we like to say. And I was actually talking to a gastroenterologist last year, and he was saying how many people in the Western world come in and see him because they have a food bolus stuck in their gullet. Now, food bolus is like a chunk of food that hasn't been chewed properly, and it gets stuck in your digestive system or in your throat or your gullet. And he was saying this is super common because people are not chewing their food properly, right? We're so busy and we're so on the go and, run here and there and everywhere that our eating has become so fast. And this is a major problem because we're inhaling our food, we're not really appreciating the experience of eating, and then that means that you don't tap into that satisfaction and that pleasure, which means that we overeat, right? So it's so important to chew slowly. The other reason it's important to chew slowly is because it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for your brain and your body to talk to each other. Now, they're talking all the time, right? They're hormones that go backwards and forwards about your appetite and when you're full, your hunger and your fullness. They're kind of like little bite messages that go backwards and forwards. And that takes time, right? That takes up to 20 minutes for your brain and your body to go, oh, I'm full now. Oh, I'm hungry, etc., etc. So if you're eating your meal in less than 5 minutes, you're not giving your brain and your body enough time to have a conversation. And that means that you run the risk of overeating, right? You overcompensate. You overeat before your brain and your body has time to go, whoa, I'm full now. So then you end up stuffed. So it's super important to chew slowly and really savor the taste. Savor the texture. Feel it in your mouth. Roll it around in your mouth. Does it feel smooth? Is it crunchy? Is it sweet? Is it salty? Is it spicy? Really smell the aromas, taste the textures, and really enjoy that experience. And then stop when you're full. Now, whether that's after a couple of mouthfuls, half a plate, you cleaned your plate, you have 2 helpings, it doesn't matter as long as you are honoring and really tuning in and tapping into your fullness signal. this takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's a new habit you're learning if you're not used to this and you've been dieting for years. It takes time to reconnect to your hunger and your fullness signals. So go gently with yourself. Just don't be judgmental. Um, and that's why I say the more you can practice mindful eating and tuning into your body, the easier it just becomes. So really learn to recognize those signals of, oh, I'm comfortably full, I'm not stuffed, or if I'm still hungry, I can go and have some more to eat. That's fine. And then when you're comfortably full, go wash your plate and get on with the rest of your day. So I really want to challenge you to, try and do these sort of step-by-step mindful eating tactics at least one meal, if not every day, at least one meal in the week. And let me know how it goes. Send me a post on my Facebook group if you're part of that. If you haven't joined it yet, please do. We hang out there and we chat a lot. And really, really hone in on this mindful eating. Now, on top of this, I'm going to create a mindful eating challenge that I hope will really, really help you take this to the next level. I'll give you step-by-step guides. I'll be there every step of the way to really help you start to hone in on mindful eating, which is, like I said, it's the basis or the foundational work of becoming an intuitive eater, where you can let go of food drama, let go of the guilt and the shame about eating, and really build a healthy relationship with food. So look out for that. It's coming in June. I will send more messages about it. And as we say in the Cayman Islands, soon come, soon come. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There will be lots of messages about that, so you can sign up. And otherwise, if you don't have any other questions for me, then have a great weekend. And let me know how your mindful eating goes. I challenge you to, this weekend, at least one meal, try and do it. And I'll chat to you soon. Thanks, everyone.